Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Millionaire Recruiter YouTube channel. I have Preston Park, again, Recruiter Preston, coming in hot with this episode. So I am super stoked to have you here. Preston, what is going on?
It's absolutely my pleasure, Brianna. Let's rock and roll. Let's do this.
Nice. All right, we're just going to jam into it real quick. So everyone that has not seen our last video, which was us just shooting shit. We're just here. We're talking about our stories, talking about our background, talk about like how even our YouTubes exist. So that was super fun. So if you have not watched that, definitely do it. But we wanted to talk about really like the real of how we built agencies, how we're successful still today. And we wanted to kind of uncover what we feel trend is lately, which there's a lot of content. There's a lot of other people that are saying like, hey, I can make you rich in 30 days, and it's not just the recruiting industry, by the way. Like there's tons of industries that are promising, this whole dream for only $10,000. You can do this. So Preston and I met last week, actually, and already we're jamming on this. And so that's something we wanted to talk about because it's freaking hard, right?
It's brutal. Like you have no idea what happens behind the camera. We do our best to capture it all, but like you just can't see everything. And so first of all, I get it. If you fall for some of these courses or programs, I'm guilty too. I've got a program or two I've done in the past, right? And we all want to be rich in 30 days. I mean, heck, if there's a tried and true verified way, show me the way. But honestly, in recruiting and with any business, it just doesn't exist. And if you think that like realistically you can actually reach a stratospheric level of income or success in a ridiculous amount of short time, like we all need a reality check. And I can see that because I needed that too. And so recruiting is great. I think it can be an amazing career. It can also be an amazing business opportunity for a lot of you entrepreneurs out there. And so this is something I'm very passionate about. And I'm really excited we're making a one-off video together because I'm sure I can learn a lot from Brianna. I can share some of my experiences here. But to kind of kick off, I think you can learn how to do all the technical stuff. Like what tools do I need to find clients or research and find candidates? And then if you're like, oh, wow, recruiting's actually not that hard. Like I just need a handful of tools and I can go at it. You'll quickly realize there's a whole world out there, a pink elephant, where you'll feel like you'll be challenged like you've never been before. And you need someone or something or previous experience to help you to kind of push through that. And so props to Brianna and her program. She's all about creating you and teaching you the necessary tools that you need, but also like walking you through in real time, in real scenarios, like the failures that you go through. And I think the more failures you go through, nothing to be scared of. I just look at them as lessons learned. You just need to learn, put on those training wheels, get over those humps, and you'll get better over time as long as you keep at it.
Yep. And that smile on the face. Like 100%, because what very quickly happens, and we kind of touched on this in this last video, is like people will give themselves like 30 to 45 days to make it. It's like, okay, first of all, let me be clear. It's 90. Like you have 90. And I know, Preston, you were like, you need 12. And I definitely think you need 12 to figure out, are you going to be in it? And are you going to continue to grow? Like, is this your dedication? But I do think you can get a successful placement, feel that high within 90 days.
Are you thinking about starting your own recruiting agency? Still trying to figure out where to begin? You are not alone. Many aspiring agency owners are intimidated by the unknowns, the complexities of the recruitment industry, to the point that they don't even start. They let their dream fizzle out. Womp, womp, womp. While watching others succeed. So the freedom to be their own boss and not have their potential earning capped slipped right through their fingers. But what if I told you there's a way to turn that overwhelming challenge into your biggest opportunity? That's exactly why I created the Start Your Own Recruiting Agency Crash Course. This shouldn't be a secret that I keep. As a serial entrepreneur in the tech recruiting space, I have over 15 years of experience in building, scaling, and successfully exiting recruiting companies. This comprehensive bootcamp is designed to guide you through every step of launching and growing a successful recruiting agency. I wish I had this course when I first started. That was hard. It could have saved me so many headaches, so many costly mistakes. And this course covers everything from creating your business blueprint to mastering sourcing techniques and delivering best-in-class candidate experience. Imagine having over 7 hours of video instruction, 30 plus downloadable resources. All of these are designed to propel you towards achieving that 6 to 7 figure milestone. This is what I'm offering to you. Let's tackle these challenges head on. Enroll in starting your own recruiting agency today and take that first step towards building the career and life you've always wanted.
What are your thoughts?
I think that's true. I also think that like people need more time to go through the 1 or 2 months or 3 months without placing anything, right? So like they need that high, but they need the lows. And that's business at the end of the day. Like no business on the planet is just highs every single day. So I think the more of that you can go through, then like the more like accustomed you'll be to the extreme swings, and then the higher chance I think you'll be able to kind of push through.
Yep. I call that fat cat syndrome. So fat cat syndrome to me is when like, 2 to 3 placements a month, or you got a cash cow, maybe even seven placements. That's definitely, that's my top. So 7 placements a month, and you're just like, wow, and all of a sudden you're celebrating your highs too much. So like that extreme kind of happens, and then you don't catch yourself. And I will never forget when I went 3 months without a placement. Mm-hmm. That was a kick in the butt that I needed, that I really needed, because like I was like this, I was soaring, like I was also ego crazy, like all these things were happening internally, I was super young. And then I had those 3 dry months, and all of a sudden it was like no one heard from me. Like nothing came out of my mouth. It was like you're kind of like walking into the office with your head down, like super embarrassed. It's like, you had like a pimple on your face or something, like that's how I relate to it. And that was probably the biggest lesson that I ever learned, was also like it humbled me, right? So I never acted that way again. But taking your foot off the pedal, and I think especially in the last year and a half, I think we saw a lot of agencies go, oops, get caught with their pants down, because everyone took their pedal off of biz dev, because we couldn't be busier. We thought, we're like, there's no way, like, oh my God, this is never going to stop. It's just raining money. Like anyone and everyone was making serious money. I even knew internal recruiters making $400K internally. Mm-hmm. Like it's insane. So thoughts there, like what happened, or what's going on with you? Cause I know you're in tech too. So it's like, it's rough, right?
It definitely is. It definitely is. But, before we get to that though, I want to share one more thing. So the way I see business is like, it should be a really big life decision, right? Like you shouldn't just start a business for fun, right? I think like you should start a business with the intention you want to see it through, to create value, to hopefully last a long time. And so when I say like at least 6-12 months, that's kind of where my mindset's coming from. And I think like that's how everyone should approach business. If you're going to start a recruiting agency, yes, you can find success within 60, 90, 30 days. But there's also a huge difference to me between luck and skill, because you can easily like rock by sheer luck. You can find the perfect candidate, have the perfect client. Everything just goes super smooth without even you doing anything. And you get like $20,000 check. You're like, oh my God, I'm amazing. I'm the badass, like the biggest, recruiter alive. But then you don't make a single placement for the rest of the year. So with me, it's like, I want to see who's around in the 12 months from now, 60 months from now. Like, I don't really care what you do in 30, 60, 90 days, because to me, I don't know if that's skill or if that's luck. If you can consistently do that for the first 12 months, I'm okay. That's a stronger argument that you know what you're doing now. You have skill, right? And so going back to your point, that's why a lot of people are just washing out, because some people started in a tremendous bull market where literally you don't, just to find accounts and clients together was like the easiest thing. And once that kind of, goes away, you realize, wow, you need skill to actually be able to push through, to be able to develop new and cultivate strong relationships on both sides, and to continually make it happen. So I think have a longer term horizon definitely helps, but like, I want to see like, hey, are you actually taking this seriously? Are you really learning like the right, proper, appropriate tools to make it successful? And are you going to be around?
Yeah. And the answer is probably no, because we have so many tools and technologies. No one's really learning the manual way anymore, because it feels like, why would I do that? That's not efficient. It's actually, that is what's going to make you sustainable. Like 100%. If you know what you're doing and you see the broader picture, and you can, see a candidate, not just on paper, and you could talk to a client and be like, oh, wait, I talked to someone like 3 months ago. That would be really great for that. It's like, well, your tool's not going to like alert your brain. It's like, no, like there's all sorts of cool things out there right now, but that's like the intuition. That's the that's what makes a good recruiter, is because we see past all of that. We see past the bullying.
And I think it's so easy to forget that like recruiting at its core is like a people to people business and job. It's all about relationships. And as much as great as AI is or technology, like it's that human relationship that will just compound and can help you push through in tough moments. So now going back to your question, we're filming this in, April 2024. The last, I would say 12, 16, 18 months, and even now moving forward has been extremely challenging, especially for us recruiters in the tech space, right? We have a lot of headwinds on a macro, micro scale. We have a lot of issues, which is within the US economy alone, where companies just are a lot more resident to kind of spend. But I think what allowed us to push forward is knowing that this is a people to people business, and like the strong relationships we had are still providing like bountiful fruit for us to be able to kind of, keep and stay busy, right? Or, the people that we develop really strong friendships with are through word of mouth and referrals, or referring us to businesses that are still using staffing or recruitment agencies that allow us to continue to stay busy. And also like, just making business decisions where like, you know what, if we can capitalize on other different types of jobs while trying our best in our private market, it's a combination of these things where like we have to do whatever we can to like maintain our lifestyle, support our family. Like we're business owners at the end of the day, in addition to recruiters. And so we just have to find a way regardless of just making it happen. But I think like, don't forget guys, this is the relationships go a long way. Even if you find a candidate, they're amazing and you may not be able to place them. If they walk away with an amazing experience with you, but when they're looking for a job in the future, they're going to come to you. Same thing with the client. Like you can try your best and fill. If you don't fill, they filled it on their own. They're like, wow, Preston or Rihanna, like it was amazing to work with them. Next time they go through growth mode, who are they going to reach out to? Us.
Phone call.
Yep. Right? So I think it's like not doing shortcuts, doing everything with a long-term horizon and just doing things properly and developing relationships, I think will just help. And honestly, it has helped us to this day, which is why like it's something like, I love to talk about.
Yeah. You brought up two really great things. One, shiny penny syndrome, which all recruiters have. And I've been like, oh, squirrel. So, but like the point of that is it's like, you're not focused on money today, you're focusing on money tomorrow, and that's like that strategy, that long-term strategy. Well, yeah, you got to make money today. I get that. So my other thing is I try to make money off of every single interaction, whether it's a negative one or a positive one. Like there's got to be something in there. And again, maybe not today, that will eventually happen. I actually have this one person that I'm thinking of, and I finally placed him after 5 years, right? So I reached out to him, wasn't interested. And all of a sudden I kind of just kept with it. This guy was amazing, right? So I really wanted him. And so we just developed this relationship. He wasn't even looking. There was no real reason, but I always like checked in. I'm really good at notes. And he would refer me to companies or refer me to candidates. So I had kind of made money, I made money off of him for like 5 years before I actually placed him. I eventually placed him, but it was a while. And so I think that's like that long-term game. When you talk about being an entrepreneur is a lifestyle choice and decision. Being an owner is a choice, and it's not always an easy one. I think the United States specifically glamorizes being an entrepreneur. Like, I feel like we could go out on the streets right now and be like, all right, raise your hands. Who wants to own their own business? And you would see people's hands just like, boom. And then you would talk to them individually, be like, what business? Oh, I don't know. Like, what do you think? It's like, what do you mean? What do I think? Like, what do you want to do? Like, what are you passionate for? What are you good at? Everyone's always looking. And I think people fall into recruiting because on the surface, it's an easy job, right? You find the client, you find the candidate, you get them together, and it's matchmaking, right? So on surface level, it's very simple. You send them a message, you get on the phone. But more often than not, and I would love to hear your take on this, how many times have you placed someone somewhere that had never heard of the company before at all, or even like, well, that wasn't even what they said they wanted? Mm-hmm. How often does that happen?
All the time.
Every time, right?
All the time.
And that's why AI will never take our jobs, because AI can't do that.
So if you were to ask me, like, what's a previous life that could be easily leveraged into recruiting? 100% sales. Like, recruiting is a sales role, and I firmly believe it. I also know there are a lot of people out there who disagree with that, but I think like there's also internal recruiting, agency recruiting. But like when you think about it, like whatever type of recruiting you are, right? What do you do to the candidates to get them to have an open mind to be interviewed? I mean, that's called sales. Like, what do you do with the clients to have to get them to have an open mind to work with you as a vendor? Like, that's also sales. Like, everything is sales when you think about it. And so, like, people who have previous Excel experience, I think, and were able to achieve high performance, I think are able to have higher likelihood of finding success, specifically in recruiting, also on the agency side. But I totally agree with you. Also, I want to point out, you're really good with these fat cat, shiny coins. Like, I'm mentally taking notes of these examples here.
All sorts of sayings.
All sorts of sayings. I mean, my version of that is like you're planting the seeds, right? Like you're planting the seeds and you're following up. And like, even though something might not materialize now, you're creating opportunities where it can materialize in the future, right? So like, it's your way of saying, you can make money in all different ways. And money doesn't necessarily mean cash in the pocket now, but it can mean snowball future opportunities, right? So I love that. I'm going to use some of these too.
Yeah.
But I think it's like, you just have to show up every day too. I mean, that's a big one for me, right? And I think like there are moments where I go through tough periods like 3 months with no deals. It's tough to wake up. It's tough to wake up, have breakfast, shower, go to the office, wherever that is, sit down and give it your all.
Like, here we go.
Every single day with no immediate ROI. And I think people, people who get diffused or depressed too easily, they're just going to find entrepreneurism very, very difficult. So kind of like what you said, hey, who wants to be an entrepreneur? Everyone raises their hands.
Yeah.
Hey, this is actually what it takes to be an entrepreneur. I want to see how many hands are still up there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because they think that work-life balance comes with being an entrepreneur. But what they forgot was the initial grind. Like, how long were you grinding before you got to be like, I don't have to work? Because what'd you say? You worked 7 days, like you worked every day.
Yeah, right? I was hardcore.
So what, like talk me through that. So like, I want to know essentially how much you worked for how long, like how many months, and until you actually got to breathe. And then how long did it take you to start, kind of squirreling away some money? Yeah,
for sure. So like, I would like to say like even 8 years in, I still work really, really hard. And that's also by choice because I just love recruiting. No matter how many people I have on my team, I will still be hands-on recruiting. I still have my own internal metrics on my desk just for like, because I love it. I really love it. So, but like in the beginning, like your back's against the wall. You have to you either make it happen or you just sink, right? And I might have taken it like too hardcore. You don't have to work 7 days a week, but like, I just wanted to not do my first deal, but I want to look past that. Can I do my second, third, fourth, 5, 6, 8 plus deals? So what you do now is going to be like the results you're going to get several weeks or a month following, right? So like I noticed that like if I start in January, if I work hard in January, things could happen, like the deals could happen in February. But if I wanted things to continue to remain consistent in March, April, May, June, I can't let my foot off the pedal. Like you have to be consistent. So the first couple of years, because I was solo, like, yeah, I've been super, super hardcore. I would say after the first year, I don't know how, but I was able to do about $500,000 on my own desk.
First year.
Was awesome. Yeah. First year. And so like, because of that, I put away some money that helped me have a breathing room second year and third year. Right. And so, but I never gave up that work ethic, Brianna. Like I still have it now. Right. And so even if I have a bigger team, like I still know like what to do. And then I still do it because I like it. So things really haven't changed much. I think maybe perhaps my lifestyle has gotten better. Maybe I was able to save a little bit more cash, but like, I'm still in it. I still feel the same emotions I feel. Like right before this phone call, we just lost 2 massive deals and it doesn't go away. Like it still feels really crappy every single time. Right. And so, but it's because I just love the game. I love the game so much and I'm proud to be a recruiter. So yeah, like things are a little bit different, but not that much. I don't want to be one of those managers and leaders to just, tell people what to do. I like to lead by example. And if you're hiring recruiters, like you got to show them what it takes to hit a level of milestone or metric. And for them to see you actually doing it, it actually motivates them and inspires them a lot more than just like telling them what to do.
Totally agree. And actually, I wish the listeners could see how that all just, transpired right before we hopped on and did this video. And you're like, I just lost 2 big deals. It's like the look on your face. It's like, again, like those emotions don't go away. Those lows, the lows and the highs, they exist so much in recruiting. And that's something like we chase. It's kind of like a drug, which is its own separate thing, but so it's like you have to, really like focus on all of that and be able to show up. But like, here you are, no one would have known that you just lost 2 massive deals, the first 20 minutes we just had this video. No one knows that because you're in it. You're in a zone and you still have your job to do. And something that I would say over and over again until I'm blue in the face is you never let someone affect your ability to do your job. There's no hiring managers. There's no candidates. There's no outside shit happening. Like, no one affects your ability to do your job and to make money, right? Like, that's what it comes down to. I have a really good question for you because I will never forget when this happened to me. Has anyone outgrossed you any years? Any one of your employees outgrossed you?
Not yet. Not yet. You?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, I would celebrate when that day happens. Like, there's no better feeling than to teach someone. I don't know if they were experienced, if they're starting brand new with you, but that's an awesome feeling. Like, congratulations.
Yeah. It gives me the money chills for sure. All of my employees at Techies had bought houses before I even sold. So it's like I got to see them. I mean, I had employees for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years with me before I sold. So I got to see like a lot of life changes, and and we would always party pretty hard, right? We go and do all these really fun things because you're making a ton of money. It's like let's celebrate it, right? So I got to see all of that, and it's cool to have people be like, oh my God, I bought this house because you taught me how to do this. Like that's the stuff that like really like keeps me going. And so I've definitely reached it. And also maybe because I've at 16 years at this point, I've reached a different, I don't want to say level. It's just a different experience with the careers. Like my high comes from their wins, which I will tell you, it took me a really long time to do. I ended up getting a coach. I got emotional intelligence training. I got my whole team went through it. I mean, it was heavy. It was like 8 weeks, 4 hours each Friday. It was insane. There was a lot of tears. A lot of people meeting with me and being like, I don't like this, and a year later they love it. But I was like, where am I going with this? Oh yeah. My coach was like, do you want to be in it or do you want to be an owner? Like what are you doing? But I'm with you. Like, I'm like, no, they need to see how it's done. Like, I don't want to be out of the game. Like they're not going to then listen to me anymore, So I had to find that balance that I was okay with. But I will tell you, the moment someone outgrossed me, like I was crushed and I was like, screw it, not doing this anymore. I'm not going to be like just their leader and boss and mentor. You know what I mean? Like I got it. I'm back in. It was almost like, tag me back in, coach, tag me back in. It didn't feel very good. And it didn't feel like my coach said it would, And so what I had to do, because I was always in the bullpen with everybody, what I had to do is I had to put myself into an office. And that was kind of my way of saying like, I'm okay with this. I'm here for you all. I'm here now. So like I would go in and out of playing in the games, and I role play a lot, and I would get on the phone with their candidates when, to be like, hey, let me just show you how this is done. We'll say you're sick. We'll say you're on vacation, so I kept finding ways to never take myself out of the game, but not in a constant manner that you're in right now. But I'm telling you, the first week that I had an office, I cried every morning before everyone got here. Like, no joke. Because I love it so much, but but I had like 20 people,
Yeah.
So
there of course there are levels, right? And I think like the biggest takeaway here is like just lead by example, right? And I think there are also a lot of leaders out there who have never really started from the bottom and really understand how to be successful in that unit, and then they just fast track to a leadership manager role, and then they just boss people around. I think that's not how you lead, and that's how you manage, right? I think finding success through our careers and having a proven track record and still being able to do it now while having a team, that's the fine balance that you're talking about. But like, it's then being able to see like, oh, you still get it. You can still do it if you wanted to, right? I think that says so much more just non-verbally just to your team than someone who's like never had recruiting experience before and they just happen to be the CEO and like, do this, do that. It's just less respect. Right.
100%. And, I will say, I have coached someone who was like, all right, I'm just opened their agency, just learned how to do recruiting. He's like, all right, I'm going to go hire 3 people. And I'm like, because the person had money, but like they just, for some reason, wanted this recruiting company. And I was like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. Like, and so I ended up talking that through. But yeah, you're right. It's like, you have to have those battle wounds. You have to know what it's like to unfortunately lose 2 deals at once, or to have that F word, the fallout, where it's like you think you're getting paid and now you're not, like all that stuff has to happen. You have to feel that. I had someone that I'm thinking of who's one of the best recruiters I know today. She had all of her offers declined. So it's like decline. And she was like, I can't do this. Like, she was like, I can't. And I believe in a 30-day challenge of essentially hitting these certain numbers every 30 days, coming in with a smile, have an affirmation, and like go. Like, so like it's like pretty specific. And so all of a sudden she went a whole year with no declines.
Amazing.
Yeah, I was like, just trust me for a second, and those things always happen. No, but like, I know I've never gone a whole year with no declines. So like,
yeah,
it's like, who knows? It's an interesting, lovely, amazing industry.
Honestly, all power to her. If that happened to you and I don't know if you and I will still be here.
See ya.
Oh man. So what would you say? Is there anything else that you want to add that you think people should really think about, or people should really execute when working for themselves, regardless of whether it's a recruiting business or any business? Like what else? Is there another pillar or theme that glaringly we can talk about?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm giant on the mindset. I always have been. I am a positive person by nature, but like I kind of touched on, after I sold my company, I did have imposter syndrome, which shook me to my absolute core. I wasn't constantly changing my definition of success. My definition of success was deeply related to what was going on at Techies. I even had a Techies license plate. I had zero identity, really. I mean, yeah, I was a mom too, like towards the end, right? But like, I kind of had, my identity was Techies. My identity was success. My identity was my people performing really well. My identity was how many cool labels are we we getting placements at, stuff like that. So when it went away, it was like floundering. Like, where am I? And it's supposed to be like the time where you're supposed to be the most excited and the most successful and stuff. But I didn't, even though I had a coach, I didn't pay enough attention to me changing what success means to me. So I now have a growth and success journal that I try to write it every day, but let's be honest, it might be every 2 to 3 days. And what I do now, and I want to hit this home for anyone that is an entrepreneur or wanting to be, you need goals outside of work. So I list them out from family, friends, kids, health, personal care, even food, because sometimes I battle with like, I like how I like to eat and drink, stuff like that. So like I kind of have those separate goals, and I list them out as to like what I'm trying to accomplish this year. And so in my growth and success journal, I will write whatever little mini win or big thing happened in all of those different categories. So I feel like a whole person, because as we're here telling you, like, being a business owner is hard. It's challenging. You will cry in the corner if you haven't. You're lying, So it's like all those things happen. You're watching your bank account. You're, all this stuff. You're paying attention. You're your own CFO. You're your marketer. You're your product manager. You're your recruiter. You're all of these things. You're leader when you hire all these things to everybody. And like you said, it's very lonely. It's very lonely at the top. And even when you're at a high, it can feel super lonely. So you need that safety net, which is a growth and success journal, in my opinion. And I also think a coach. Like, I think you need someone, or even like another business owner, hopefully maybe even in the same industry, that gets it, because business owner to business owner, nobody understands. So like, I don't know about your significant other, but like, I'm now with someone that is a business owner. And I will tell you, like, it's so cool to go home and talk about the challenges of a small business, because your friends don't understand. And, and now my stepdad and stuff does, but having like real raw conversations and venting and getting advice and thinking about, hey, should I pay for this marketing? What do I do here? Like, there's so much that goes into it. And so I know I'm kind of tangenting on this thing, but it's like giving advice to entrepreneurs. It's like, man, I could have like a hour episode as to like what I've been through and what I want to talk about and what I want to mentally prepare people for. But I think in order to just kind of stop the tangent, it's like mindset and self-love, self-care is like number one. And I know that as we're running strong, we're grinding out, all we care about is profit, all we care about all these things, but it's not sustainable. And you might be able to go a whole year, but you're going to crash and burn at one point in time. And to get back up is really challenging, really.
I think like getting your, a better network, support system, even in your personal lives. So my wife, she's not a business owner, but she's like, I share everything with her. right? And so just even getting like another person that you trust point of view can help you just look and see things and think of things differently. I definitely believe that. And I also have a network and advisors and mentors that I also go to as well, which kind of balances everything. But I think I want to just also talk about balance. Like work can feel like it's everything, but it shouldn't, right? There are many pillars that you should just be fulfilled in life, and work is just one of them, right? So I think having a balance outside of work with activities or interests, passions, but also having relationships with friends and family and self-care, all that's really, really important. And I think none of that matters when you start as a brand new business owner. You're like, I just needed profits. I just need to make money. I just need to survive. I think if you're able to show up and just kind of get over that first hump, and you're like, oh, you know what? This is actually not everything. And even though you may feel like you find fulfillment, real fulfillment comes from just a balance of a lot of things and a holistic approach. And so even though this is very centered on recruiting and entrepreneurism and just mindset, like, let's just also not forget, like, life's bigger than that too, a little bit, right? You know, there's other hours in the day where I'm hoping you're not focused on work, you have family, friends, or things that you love to do. And I think that's what matters. I think in an entrepreneurial centered society like the US, it's business or nothing, money or nothing, right? And that could be dangerous, and that could lead to like burnouts or even worse, right? And so just please keep that in the back of your mind, especially if you're thinking about embarking on a new kind of self-employed journey.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, go all in. All in. You have to. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm getting the money chills, but I just feel like this one need to say this because I know we're totally out of time. But I have lots of people who want to start a recruiting business on the side. I'm sorry. That is challenging. Unless you are a complete superhero and you decide you don't have kids, you don't want to stop, you don't want to sleep, and you think you can compartmentalize properly, I find it extremely, extremely challenging. You can be a freelance recruiter and make extra money, but if you want to have a full-blown successful recruiting agency, I mean, it's a lot of work and it's time-consuming, and our sales cycles are long.
Or just change your expectations. Like, don't expect the full-time income from part-time work. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, I mean, you can be like a part-time parent or a part-time business owner or part-time anything. Like, you're just not going to find success really unless you're all in, right? And be fully committed. And so also, like, I can relate because I think, like, when you're younger, you kind of want to do a little bit of everything. Like, I think recruiting, and I would love to have more conversations with you. And I love to get to know other facets of you, because I'm sure recruiting is just really one facet of you, right? And there are a lot of other things I'm interested in, and I've dabbled and spread myself thin back in the day. And I really only found success in recruiting when I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put all this to the side and go all in. Because, like, you can make $1,000 here, $2,000 there, $5,000 there. You're working 24 hours a day. You feel like you're busy, fulfilled. Actually, you're burning yourself out. You're not hitting that significant milestone you want, right? So if you really want to 10x, 20x, you got to go all in and be fully committed. So when you hear things like 60 or 90 days, like Rihanna, or for me, longer, maybe 6 months, 12 months, we're also assuming that you're all in at this time period. It's not like just dabbling and doing things with the side. So be focused, be hungry, and yeah, go all in. And I'm sure you're definitely on the right track.
Yeah, do the work. Do the work.
And love the work. Love the work too. Do the work and love the work, you know? Man, so like that's I just like the work. I mean, even though something as mundane as like sourcing or outreach and things like that, I just enjoy it. I think I'll never stop. I think there'll be in the future where I'll just do it less, but I just love it. And I love talking to people. And I think that's what kind of keeps me in the game here. And just, you know, hearing your students or candidates or clients having a wonderful experience with you, it's just honestly one of the best feelings ever. And if it's the other side, like, just take it as a learning experience and just find a way to be better, mitigate situations like these from happening, and just keep showing up, whether you like it or not. Keep showing up, and if you take care of the work will take care of you.
Ooh, we'll do an amen. Amen and snaps. Thank you all for listening. I'm sure just by how today went, Preston and I are probably going to do lots more together in the future. But thanks for watching both of our channels, Millionaire Recruiter and Recruiter Preston.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. And maybe we'll see you on the next one, part 3. Stay tuned.
Bye.